Today we have 5 tips for when you're practicing the guitar. Tip 1. If you're struggling with hand synchronization and you're not sure on how to fix it, then maybe instead of practicing with distortion and gain, you take all that away and try practicing with a cleaner tone. This way you can properly focus on sounding out the notes, which in turn helps with your hand synchronization, because your hand synchronization affects the way the notes are played. Because say if you have a dull note, that's either because your picking hand is either fast or slower than your fretting hand, and you're picking before or after you actually fret it, so it's more like a muted note, so therefore it's dull, or vice versa, your fretting hand is too slow or too fast for your picking hand. That's why I'd recommend, even though it's fun, stepping away from the distortion and switching to a clean tone, because with distortion it helps you sound the notes out a bit more because you have a lot of gain obviously. Whereas a cleaner tone you probably won't have as much gain. So definitely try switching to a cleaner tone to help a ton with the accuracy of your playing. Tip 2. If you're not using a metronome while you're practicing, you are missing out. Using a metronome definitely helps build speed because you can control tempo. So you can start where you are very comfortable, say 100 or 120 BPM, depending on the exercise obviously. But you can start where you are really comfortable and build up in 5 or 10 BPM increments, again depending on the exercise, and build up to where you're struggling and then outside of your comfort zone, just to get a better feel of what that could be like, and to almost condition your hands to getting to that speed. It's a bit like progressive overload, if you know what that is. It's just pushing yourself past your limits just a little bit to get a little bit more progression in what you're practicing. Tip 3. If you want to save time, you don't need to practice a certain exercise 5 times per whatever your BPM is. Because if you're going up in 5 BPM increments, you could maybe do it twice or 3 times depending on the length of the exercise. So I'd recommend play it 3 times perfectly and then go up 5 BPM, 3 times perfectly, 5 BPM, 3 times perfectly, 5 BPM. Or you could play it once perfectly if it's a longer exercise, with more notes is what I'm trying to say. If it has more notes, then play it once perfectly and go up 5, or play it twice perfectly then go up 10. This can save a lot of time and can also reach higher BPMs as well, because you're not wearing your hands out as much, because you're not playing the same BPM at the same BPM with the same exercise as much. So you can reach a higher speed and a higher BPM while still playing well, because you're not as tired. Tip 4 is sort of linking with this fatigue idea, and it's starting with the exercise that focuses on what you need to practice or work on. Say for instance, I need to focus on my alternate picking. I would practice alternate picking first thing before I do any sweeping or any economy picking or anything else, or any arpeggios, anything else. I would start with alternate picking because that's what I need to work on, and if I do it later in the practice session, I will be more fatigued from doing everything else. And tip 5 is an extremely important one, and that's warming up your hands before doing anything too crazy. I'll show you what I mean in a minute, but it's just doing some stretches or exercises for your hands and fingers so that you can be prepared to go fast and play some crazy stuff. Now I'm going to show you 3 stretches that are pretty simple and they work pretty well. The first one is, you're going to do this on every finger, including your picking, and just going to take the finger, you want to put all your fingers here, but for demonstration, so you can see, I'm just going to use one finger. You just want to pull it back slowly so you don't hurt it or injure it. Slowly stretch it back with your arm fully out. Slowly stretch it back. You'll feel a big stretch right through there. And that's just warming up. You're doing every finger, 5-10 seconds. 5 seconds to pull it back, or 3 to 5 seconds to actually get it to the back, and then hold it for 3 to 5 seconds. 3 to 5 seconds, pull it back, 3 to 5 seconds, and so on and so forth. You do that on every finger, on every hand, both hands. So 3 seconds pulling it back, 3 to 5, and 3 to 5 seconds holding it at the back. And you don't want to pull it back too far, otherwise you're going to injure it. Just where you feel a stretch, stop there and hold it there. The second one is, you're going to take your thumb and any other finger, I'll use my middle finger, and you're going to make a V with your 2 fingers. You're basically just going to stretch them away from each other. So you're going to put your thumb and middle finger at the top of your two fingers that you're stretching apart, and you're just going to very slowly, again, 3 to 5 seconds on the way. Then when you feel a stretch, 3 to 5 seconds, hold it there. Do that on everything. 3 to 5 seconds, hold. 3 to 5 seconds. And do it on every hand, both hands, and every finger. And the last one for your fingers is put your arm out and just try and like stretch your fingers, and just stretch them as far apart as you can. Just really like strain them, not strain them, just separate them as much as you can on both hands. And there'll be one more for your thumb that I forgot to show you, but it's basically the first one just for your thumb, but it's in a different direction, so I'll show you that one. And for your thumb, you're going to do the exact same thing as the first one, but you're going to drive it back to like in linear with your forearm. So you're going to drive it back to there. Again, 3 to 5, and a 3 to 5 second hold. 3 to 5 seconds back. 3 to 5 seconds hold. And in turn with the first one, you can do it backwards as well. Well, not backwards, you can do it down. But I don't feel this one, but you might do, so definitely try it. But it's the same thing as pulling it back, but you're just putting it down and kind of under your palm. And you'll feel a stretch up here, which can be quite good, especially if you're a fretting hand. Bring your arm out. And I have my wrist a little bit tilted down just so I can get a bit more of a stretch. Do that on every one, 3 to 5 seconds on the way, 3 to 5 seconds hold, and so on and so forth. It's also worth, before doing these exercises, that you sort of massage your forearm and fingers just to get the blood flowing, just to get that warmed up before the warm-up, I guess. So just like kind of, massage your forearm like this, all the way up to top. Then with your thumb, just kind of do that, and like kind of just massage your palms, and then tip your fingers, and then obviously your fingers. Just massage everything to get blood flowing. Then do the stretches and everything I showed you. So that's all 5 tips. If you enjoyed this video, then like and subscribe, that would be much appreciated. And go check out my other videos on technique, and I'll see you in the next one.